We got a jam-packed episode here on Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. Are the Dolphins not going to trade Tyreek Hill? There's some new reporting on that. Dallas appears interested in signing Jadeveon Clowney, and we have a new Quinshon Judkins update. We also talk about another receiver that maybe could get traded as well. Let's start with the Cheetah. Report from Jeremy Fowler is that as of now, the Dolphins have no intentions of trading Tyreek Hill despite getting trade calls for him. Here's what Fowler has to say. Quote, my understanding is that Miami received calls on Hill but did not show interest in trading him. If the losing persists, perhaps those phone lines reopen. The Dolphins already exercised Hill's $15.85 million option bonus, leaving a $10 million base salary and $1.8 million in per-game bonuses. The Dolphins not only should trade Tyreek Hill today, they should have done it yesterday. They should have done it in the offseason. They should have done it when he literally went public and said, get me out of here. Like, you're acting like you're trying to weed out the bad apples. Oh, let's get Jalen Ramsey out. Mike McDaniel's going public. Yeah, guys show up late and I fine them and they don't do anything. Clearly, Tyreek's probably under that bucket. They didn't vote him a captain this year. It's like, what are you hanging on to this guy for? Like, I get it. Every team wants to win. We're only 1 week in. But if I'm Chris Greer, I'm trading Tyreek Hill. I just do not understand. For one, his cap hit next year is untenable. It's like, I think it's like $50 million or something. Like, you can't keep him at that number. So you would either have to cut him or completely redo his contract, which there's no guarantee he would agree to that. The Dolphins are going nowhere. Again, I understand they're probably not going to acknowledge that 1 week into the season, but I think that's the case. He literally wants off the team. I know he's kind of backed that off as the offseason went on, but if he got traded today, especially to a contender, I think he'd be pretty happy about it. Tua, I think pretty obviously does not like him anymore. He went after him multiple times publicly in the media during training camp about him demanding a trade and causing distractions and all of that. Oh, and by the way, the last time he had a 30-yard catch or longer was in week 1 of last year. So he has not even been as productive. The longer that goes on, the less his value is because the league starts to kind of wonder, well, is this just a Dolphins issue or is Tyreek Hill not Tyreek Hill anymore? You're not going to get a great return for him, I don't think, but you could probably still get a middle-round pick. You're not keeping him next year based on his contract. I would be moving him immediately if I was the Miami Dolphins. What do you guys think? Should the Dolphins trade Tyreek Hill? Type T for trade or K for keep. You guys know where I stand. I would get him the hell out. He had some nice seasons there, but he's 30 now. He wants out. And the negatives seem to outweigh the positives for him, at least on that team. I think like if the Chiefs wanted to bring him back, there's been some small chatter there. He would make sense back there with their receiver injuries. But for Miami and where they're at as a franchise, having Tyreek Hill just does not really benefit you in any way. Okay, Jadeveon Clowney, a free agent edge rusher, probably the best one left after Zadarius Smith signed with the Eagles. He is visiting Dallas today, going through a workout. Josina Anderson had the report. Ed Warder added this to Josina's report, saying that Dallas is working him out. Yada, yada, yada. He's good against the run, some pass rush. He'd be considered for an immediate addition to the roster, depending upon his workout and medical evaluation. He does have some knee issues, but assuming he passes the physical, I would expect Dallas to sign him. I mean, he's still been pretty productive in recent years. Had 5.5 sacks last year, had 9.5 the year before. He's always been really good as an edge setter in the run game. He's always been a run defender first, pass rusher second, but he's solid in both areas. And I've always said this about Clowney. He has never lived up to being the number 1 pick. But when it's all said and done and his career is over, you're going to look at his numbers and be like, yeah, pretty damn good career. If he was the 17th pick instead of the first pick, you'd be like, yeah, that was a great pick. He just hasn't lived up to being that number 1 pick status. Clearly, Dallas could use some help on the edge after trading Micah Parsons. They did not get much pass rush help at all in week 1. Matt Eberflus prefers not to blitz, so if they can get someone that can help win some one-on-ones occasionally, I think it makes sense. Probably wouldn't cost a lot. I think Zadarius got, up to $9 million. I don't think you're going to pay Clowney that much. Maybe it's like $6 million. and you call it a day. So we'll see what happens. I would guess if he passes a physical, Dallas is going to sign him, and I think it's a pretty good move. All right, today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football is back and better than ever, and I'm firing off Prize Picks lineups every single week and almost every single day. It's very easy to play Prize Picks, as you just pick more or less on stat projections on 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks also invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. For week 2, Prize Picks is offering a max discount on Travis Kelce. You just take more than half a receiving yard. I've paired that with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, more than 41.5 rushing yards. He had, I think, 80-something in week 1, so I like that play for the Commanders running back. $20 lineup to win $60. Of note, max discount plays can only be used once per user. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Let's get to the latest on Quinshon Judkins, as the rookie running back is in New York today, meeting with the league amid the league's investigation into him. Remember, had that domestic violence charge. The legal stuff has been dropped, but as most of these cases, when they pop up, the league does look into it themselves. So could this be a sign that the resolution is going to be final soon? He did sign his contract with the Browns finally before week 1, but did not play in the opener. The expectation was that he would practice today, but he was called to the league office, so we'll find out more later. But Rappaport had the report that he is meeting with the league about the personal conduct policy investigation that is going on. Rapp did add that the plan is for him to practice tomorrow and Friday before the Browns determine his availability for Sunday, which, remember, he has not practiced yet since OTAs. So, 2 practices, you're going to be ready to go. It's a little easier for a position like running back than some of these other positions, so maybe it's a game time type of call, so we'll have to wait and see. But do want to make that reminder again that just because the legal charges have been dropped doesn't mean the NFL can't still find something in their investigation and penalize the player. They could suspend him. They could fine him. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. On that front, I would imagine this meeting today, we'll find out one way or another if they're going to penalize him or not, probably in the next 24 hours. So keep an eye on that. And listen, the Browns need this guy. I said this going into week 1. I think Joe Flacco is at least serviceable at this point. He's clearly not the long-term answer, but you need a good running game if he's your quarterback. Jerome Ford is a rotation back. He can't be your workhorse back. You need Quinshon Judkins healthy. You got Dylan Sampson as well. You drafted both those guys for a reason, for that to be your 1-2 punch, not Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson. So hopefully he's able to get back soon and go. I doubt he'd be full throttle this week, but maybe by week 4 he could emerge and be your starter. Subscribe to the channel. We got one more story to talk about, but we are here every single day breaking down the latest NFL news, rumors, trade buzz. We react to big primetime games. We'll be back Thursday night. Big game tomorrow. We got Packers-Commanders. Can't wait to see how that one plays out. We'll have a video up on the channel tomorrow night. College football coverage as well. We do it all. If you love football, we are the channel for you. It's free. Hit that subscribe button. All right, Romeo Doubs, a report emerged today that the Packers, multiple teams, have reached out to Green Bay about the status of their receiver, who is in the final year of his contract. There was some buzz this offseason that they could trade him because they do have a crowded receiver room. Obviously, he's in the final year of that deal. He's had some concussion issues, so he was a name that people thought Green Bay could be willing to let go. I do find the timing of this report interesting because Christian Watson, despite rehabbing his ACL, received a 1-year extension yesterday, $13.3 million. So they are committing to him. He's not someone they would trade once he is healthy, at least not this year. So that does make this report interesting. Is Green Bay leaking out hey, come call us? We're rolling with Watson beyond this year, not Romeo Doubs, which I don't necessarily blame them for that. Obviously, Watson's coming off a big injury too, but Doubs has had multiple concussions. He's in the last year of his deal. They probably don't want to budget a contract to keep him long term. So my guess here is that assuming Watson's on track to return at some point this season, I think Doubs gets traded before the deadline. That would be my guess, especially if Matthew Golden continues to ascend, Jaden Reed, Savion Williams' role gets kind of ironed out by that point in time. They still have Dontavian Wicks. Like, they just have a lot of bodies in that room. They're not going to re-sign Romeo Doubs. Like, they're not going to give him a multi-year contract. So if they can get a fourth, fifth round pick for him at the deadline around the time Watson could be coming back, that seems like a win for Green Bay. So we'll see if that ends up happening. I want to know from you guys, who would you rather trade for if it was your team? Would you rather have Tyreek Hill or Romeo Doubs? Now, you got to factor in everything, the personality, the contract, what type of receiver they are at this point in their career. Who would you rather trade for? Type T Hill for TH for Tyreek Hill or RD for Romeo Doubs. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of For Verts. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We will be back probably tomorrow morning for an episode. Then again, we'll have a show post-game after the game tomorrow night, so be on the lookout for that. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.